utilizing that Eclipse, utilizing the ultimate from the Solar Flare, you could just check, hey, does enemy mid have flash? If yes, then he should just dodge this ability, and now we're going to be up a summoner spell going into this fight. But
Xiaohao doesn't necessarily find Shun on the invade to go find a camp advantage. I think the goal is just to track Shun. Meanwhile, Joel is getting very aggressive, trying to set up Shun for a gank onto the top side. Looking for the movement speed from that empowered E Assault. Looks for Palkia, gets him before he gets a chance to flash away, and that is first blood for Shun. I'm not sure if that increases EDG's chances of being able to secure these grubs.
I think it makes it much more difficult for them, because now they don't have a real ability.
Ooh! He dodged the Solar Flare by pulling Zhuo in with the Dredge line. Now the fight erupts here. Here comes Xiaoshu from downtown with the unstoppable onslaught, but everyone from EDG flashes over the wall. Decimating Smash slows down Palkia, but not enough to get him in range for JDG to sink their fangs into. EDG get one kill cleanly out, and everyone escapes.
EDG being last to this play makes it so difficult.
ZDZ. Public execution into Dredge line. Xiaoshu is caught with his pants down. Shun is forced to use the Grand Starfall just to get back in there, but now ZDZ is able to flash back to safety, but Scout falls off the perfect execution. Paze goes in, flying forward, looking for more kills, and JDG come to life, being able to drop kills one after another. It's only On and Angel that are left in the aftermath, but JDG find their moment.
You get one, basically. Do not, if you die to this, we're gonna be laughing at you. Please don't make me do this. Gets the Comet Spear, there's all the healing. And from EDG's perspective, why are we trying to contest on the top side? On was incredibly late to this play. JDG just win everything. They get the first 3 kills, first 4 kills of the game now, and maybe they try to look for Angel on side lane here. It's Scout and Zhuo. Zhuo still has teleport, so even if he shows up on this side of the map, he can very easily show up on another part. We have a Corki and Nautilus lane. How are we not fighting in the early game and getting ourselves an advantage? How as Jarvan and Orianna is our first combination where Orianna doesn't have a shockwave to play with. JDG are correctly punishing their opponents and open up what is going to feel like 2,500 to 3,000 gold difference.
None of these items have been fully completed yet. It's just components, and now ZDZ, no flash from the prior fight. Public execution at least dances out of the Solar Flare, but the unstoppable onslaught still locks him down, and that's another kill on the board for JDG. And JDG are the ones now reaping the benefits of accelerating against the curve. First items pretty much on every carry across the board. And Shun is now looking for a pick with Zhuo, who flashes on top of Palkia and ensures that even with the Dredge line, there's nowhere to go. Shun now 3-0-1 on the Pantheon.
To do the same. Herald's going to be started up here for JDG. EDG not really in a spot to even contest here.
Zhuo is the bodyguard alongside Pace. Scout flanking on the left side. Looks for Angel. Clean execution on the combo, but the shockwave forces him out as the depth charge will follow Scout to the very bitter end. Unstoppable onslaught from Xiaoshu. Gets the knock up onto the front line. Xiaohao trying to flash over to the right, but he's got no damage follow up on that side of the fight. But Shun is already at 50% HP, so is Xiaoshu. Pace is running out on the Transcendent State, and EDG have the numbers advantage. They're pushing forward. ZDZ lunging forward into the backline as he slices and dices in that Drake Wolfhound stance, but not enough damage. Finds Pace into the backline as On goes down swinging. Palkia now gets jumped by Shun, and it's the jungler for JDG that saves the day.
It is 10-3, and honestly, Rafa, that is a great team fight here for JDG. We're doing an Angel?
There's no flash for Angel. Shun knows that he's got enough HP to set it up.
No!
He misses the Comet Spear, but it doesn't matter. That's the Shun special right there.
Where I think EDG need to slow the game down. They need to not be taking these fights. On is trying to squeeze damage. Yeah, that's one.
Hey, that's nice for EDG. That's an objective bounty picked up, but Scout has teleported into the left flank. Now looking for On. Perfect execution for the first cast into the shuriken backflip. Doesn't even need the second cast to finish him off. JDG now have a chance to reposition and set up for the second dragon of the game.
In between the turrets here, which I think is incredibly funny. Xiaoshu, oh god. Oh, we're doing this.
It's a trap! Xiaoshu run! There's no flash, and the Cataclysm locks him down into the baby cage. Xiaoshu pops the Soul Furnace for the shield, but they know his fate is written in the stone. And ZDZ gets the shutdown.
Turret on the bot side, so this is going to be more gold being funneled into JDG.
I mean, EDG, if they want to force a fight, they know that Scout cannot join since there's no teleport, but he's caught under the towers. EDG is forced to flash. Big 3-man shockwave, but there's not much damage behind it. Zhuo is still alive. Here comes the Rift Herald from Xiaohao. Should be able to at least crash open this tier 1 turret. Another objective bounty goes into the pockets of EDG. Dredge line misses as it is a flash used. His joining on this roster at the beginning of Split 3 has been the biggest surprise for this team so far.
It's been so fun to watch. Lane wave. GG have not been spotted here. Maybe that Demacian standard spotted them right before the ward comes in from Palkia. Scout not seen yet. A lot of important summoner spells up and available.
Unstoppable Onslaught splits up EDG. Palkia on the top side, but On is able to get away from the engage. Depth Charge now right on top of the tank for JDG, but the rest of JDG are burning down the Otacon. Big Solar Flare stops Xiaohao for now, but they're not able to hold the line, and now they drop the Otacon. It's at 3k HP. EDG could rip this and try to see if they can steal it away from JDG. Shun can he be a hero? It's Xiaohao that steals the Otacon right under the noses of JDG. The collapse comes in. Shun is dropped, and EDG have sprung to life in game 1 of the series.
Level here from Rod of Ages, so... Oh no, no, not before the dragon.
Shuriken backflip, but the nice knock up into the dredge line. Scout gets caught out by EDG. The punishment is grand. With current or former pros from the LTA, NACL, or the ERLs, use the code LPL10 to save 10% on ProDiv and schedule 101 today. Have been hit here for a majority of EDG carries. Rest of JDG trying to see if they can get through the bottom tri-bush. Scout on the bottom flank here. Public execution into the back. Pace is compromised. The barriers pop, and he's firing still. The rest of JDG hold the front line strong enough for their back line to survive. Dredge line from Palkia continuing the fight on the Xiaoshu. Angel and On can still carry out the damage here. The rest of JDG have to reposition and they have to reposture. A recall comes in. A teleport will come in for Zhuo to be able to rejoin the fight. EDG now on the wrong side of the map, trying to hold his position here. No shockwave available. The slow from Pace connects. On is forced to flash away. They're trying to look for the blast cone to get back to safety. Palkia is going to give his life to save his AD carry, but On still might be in range. They land another slow, and Xiaoshu cleans it up for JDG.
Man, EDG just take the win and back off. We have this dragon that's not going to be going over, and Scout wasn't able to do much in that fight afterwards, but I've got to say, Ruff, I'm quite disappointed in what we're getting here from EDG. Feels like we were trying to do a little too much on one side of the map. We were going too far for some of these angles. If they had just gotten their win and backed off.
JDG climbing back up with that gold advantage here. Still haven't yet found 3 items for a majority, but it's only for Paze. Solar Flare misses on the Xiaohao, forced out. Xiaoshu tries to follow up with the engage as well. The Unstoppable Onslaught. Shockwave forces Scout to flash upon entry with that teleport. Palkia re-engages, Death Charge into the backline. Paze is knocked up briefly, still able to fire in the Transcendent state. Big slow with the W. He's able to dash out over the wall. Dredge line snags Xiaoshu as he tries to look for the blast cone as an escape route. Xiaohao finds the knock-up. Everyone's burning down Xiaoshu. Pace is holding the right side flank, and the rest of JDG are trying to reposition and get their tank the hell out of there, but it's the flash from Palkia to guarantee the dredge line, and Xiaoshu has to be sacrificed. JDG lose on their front line, but what can EDG do here? And you can see that EDG were not able to push through that choke point because Paze is stepping up and being almost a deterrent himself. Angel forced to use the Zonias to dodge the Solar Flare. Xiaohao goes in, but he gets stunned upon entry. Cataclysm into Shockwave, massive damage on the Paze, but he just dashes out of the baby cage. He's able to heal up. Public execution snags him! Angel follows up onto ZDZ as they breach the backline, and Paze loses his first life in game 1. The rest of JDG have lost their star carry, and they are forced to retreat. Scout cannot save Shun. He's under fire under the tier 1 tower. ZDZ trying to follow through. Xiaohao flashes forward. Scout is able to get away, but EDG have found their mark, and Paze is dropped.
Man, just the amount of abilities there missed by certain members of JDG. I mean, just looking at the redemption, Zhuo got it nowhere near Paze. So Paze saves his flash, goes down. Those are a ton of bounties going over to JDG. It swings the gold back in their favor. They get the 2 turrets in mid. They're going to get Baron, and they need to reset instantly, Rafa. We don't care about these minion waves. It is up to JDG to fix them because we've got Dragon spawning in a minute, and that'll be Soul going over to them.
For JDG in gold, this is so massive, and being able to hold posture and position to deny the Infernal Soul away from JDG. The Baron buff is forcing JDG solo laners to try and split up the map, answer back some of the waves to make sure that they are not losing so much free experience of gold on these side lanes. And now the Infernal Soul has been delayed by an extra 5 minutes. But for another minute, EDG can do some massive damage to the structures of JDG, further ballooning the gold lead they have.
Able to turn team fights now.
For the most part, Paze has done a great job of being able to bait out cooldowns from EDG. He knows he has to do it again now that he has both Flash and Barrier and available to try and create opportunities for his teammates. But it was the thing that got him punished in that fight near the mid lane river. Now EDG are barreling through the base. They've already breached through inhibitor towers. The top inhibitor falls on continuing to push here. No threat from the side of JDG as they don't even want to take a chance of flubbing the base defense.
If they lose a single member, that could be the end of game number 1. He's gonna chase.
They're gonna
split.
send it. ZDZ, no public execution as he completely misses it, but the depth charge creates a lot of space. Shockwave, a lot of damage into the front line. Xiaohao commits forward. Doesn't pop the Cataclysm yet. Scout now finds his moment, looks for the perfect execution, causing a lot of disruptions in the backline. Palkia has already been dropped. Finds the Shuriken backflip. Perfect execution. Second cast tries to flash away for the Cataclysm, but not enough as Angel drops him. But JDG do enough to defend the base. Feral Soul spawning once again in the next minute and a half. But with where the waves are, I don't know if JDG will have a chance to contest for it again.
He's gonna pick up another wave here. It's EDG first out of the map. Man, losing this top lane inhibitor is proving so detrimental for JDG, as it takes them a long time to be able to actually properly push this wave out and apply vision. So JDG are losing another dragon. That'll delay the soul that we've been talking about for a bit of time. This gives JDG, you know, the similar for their opponents, gives them time to... Shun also loses his flash, can enter back into this pit. It is darkness yet again. Another teleport now from Zhuo. No solar flare. And honestly, all of JDG, they need to reconnect right now because they're spread.
Xiaohao and ZDZ have GAs. They caught Xiaoshu, Zhuo, and Shun trying to find an angle to capitalize. Xiaoshu flashes out of the Cataclysm, but Zhuo has no flash from the previous fight, so he is dropped on. Whoa, that was crazy. He almost died for it. Forced to flash away. He ends up getting dropped by Scout in the end. He goes golden with the stasis, flashing away with the perfect execution. He's still alive, and Xiaohao's GA is burned. He is able to EQ away. ZDZ now pressing through the front line. The shockwave catches Paze, and EDG find the heart of JDG and strike it out here in game 1. Xiaohao is going to continue forward, finding Shun. That should be it, Elk. That should be game 1 for EDG.
Can Xiaoshu go and clear this wave? He's got a lot of HP to work with. They're teleporting into the top side. They've got a 3-minion wave here with a cannon on top. Only Scout to make it. Perfect execution is not on. EDG might have won this game 1.
A back and forth bloodbath between EDG and JDG, able to save themselves in 2 clutch fights. Scout doing everything he can to try and save this one for JDG, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Game 1 goes to EDG.
Too many random mid-game fights, and I think the solo laners here of JDG really letting the team down. You just need to survive. If you can just take one spell at a time from JDG, you are in a huge advantage.
Yeah, I think the Braum support kind of locked it in for EDG to not full send on the dive composition identity, because if you mess up, it's looking a little volatile here. Xiaohao's going to show up. No answer from Shun since he's on the bottom side. Flash! Headbutt from Palkia sets it up. Zhuo can escape, and EDG pick up first blood. Both junglers are now looking at that mid lane even more voraciously, as either could be susceptible to a strong gank. Palkia setting up a big engage onto Xiaoshu, but this is a level 6 Cassante. I don't know if you want to go all out. He's going to go all out versus you now. Palkia's in trouble, just gets burned down in the 1v2, and Xiaoshu's continuing the trade on to on, but here comes Xiaohao to turn the tides of battle and puts an end to him with the wind becomes lightning, but now Shun and Scout are on the collapse, looking for On's life here, but the collapse from Angel with the Weaver's Wall now finds Scout. Remember, he has no flash available, gets the phase rush for the movement speed, but he gets tagged, but the wind becomes lightning, and On flashes forward to secure the feats of warfare.
Get one of these early objectives. It was a dragon going over to Edward Gaming, while they themselves on JDG's side, they get themselves the grubs, which I think is much better for them to get it, as their opponents don't necessarily hit turrets as well, but I think side lane control should be a lot easier for EDG as the game goes on.
Yep. And for JDG, it is at least a way to brute force these towers whenever they are able to find those skirmish advantages and have numbers on the map briefly during those death timers. It is 3 grubs that are awarded to JDG, no contest coming in from EDG. Scout does. He can instantly look for a flash tibbers or a flash stun. He's looking for the speed up into the supreme display of talent, and Angel is thrown into the wall and taken out of the fight. Now Palkia is now looking for the re-engage. There's no flash on Scout. Shun can find a way to escape. but I think Scout is going to be sacrificed for the greater cause of Shun's Kiana here. On, now gifted another kill in this game, thanks to Scout being dropped.
But we get into this next fight, Rafa, and it's going to be in 30 seconds around the Dragon. That is, ultimates are starting to come back up here for EDG.
Pays used the culling to try and chunk out On, but he's healed up for the most part. Palkia absorbing as much damage as he can, still has the unbreakable will. They go in, flash 3-man pulverized by Palkia, sets up On to pick up Pays, who didn't have flash for the fight prior, and On sends it with a killer instinct, looking for Xiaoshu on the bottom side. EDG wipe the floor with JDG.
And Pays has no flash from that mid lane play. A massive punish from the rookie of the split, Palkia. Now, they grab that play, they get the Dragon, and they're going to get themselves the turret. This is going to be feats of strength now completed at 14.5 minutes. In Tier 1, they've got 3 grubs. See if they can make it happen. There's also Xiaoshu on the bottom side of the map. I think this is a worthwhile trade here for JDG. Getting gold into their back pockets, keeping themselves even in this game. They are down 2,000. They need to be able to battle for every piece of land here in the mid-wave. Let's see if Xiaoshu can maybe get himself into a strong enough spot on this Cassante. That all-out can be a huge difference maker. Could be a spot where EDG look to try to force. It'll put them on soul point if they grab it.
This is now the timer to try and find something opportunistic for JDG. They get the stun down onto ZDZ, who already popped the dominance, but the supreme display of talent and stun from Scout means that there is no room.
Angel's gonna grab this. This is gonna be now the Herald spawned in mid. EDG, they want to use this time before the Dragon. Let's get some gold into our back pockets, and more specifically, let's set the map up so that when this Dragon spawns, thank you, Palkia, making it look at least to have a little bit of fun. Joel's going to use the ultimate to kind of push Hayes.
Just don't get caught out.
Angel's flash. Okay, mid-turret's going to fall here in favor of JDG.
Weaver's wall will try to cut off the minion wave, but I think the turret is still going down. On barely dodges out on the third Nintofo strike from Xiaoshu, but JDG get what they came for. Secure the tier 1 turret in the mid lane and are now forced to at least secure the third Dragon, while ZDZ has secured the top tier 2 turret, might be pushing for more.
He's going to get another wave. Palkia and Angel reset, so they're going to catch their waves that they get pushed out afterwards. Otacon spawns now.
Are they going to
get it in? Look at where everybody... Xiao is going to recall here. He actually finishes it. This is a huge mistake. JDG just now gets this for free.
Oh, man. That's a big mistake coming out from EDG. They thought that they were going to be content with just the Dragon take, but JDG are forcing the trigger here. Here comes the teleport from ZDZ, able to show up. They get vision, 2k HP on the Otacon. Shun secures it and throws out the supreme display of talent to buy some time, as Xiaoshu is willing to give his life, but he finds the all-out on the Xiaohao, brings him into the waiting arms of his squad. EDG trying to fight this one out, but they lose out their jungler. On is forced to use the killer instinct to escape, flashing away from Xiaoshu's grasp. Angel buys some time with the seismic shove, but the rest of JDG, they want more. They're thirsting for blood. They want to hunt down the remaining members of EDG, but they won't get any more. This might be the difference maker for JDG, as they are able to now control the pace of the game here at the 22-minute mark.
Look at Shun right now, man. Like, this guy's about to hit 3 levels. He's taking another jungle camp play. He's going to be JDG starting it up, moving backwards. ZDZ also not showing quite yet. So it's a 4-on-4 right now. Here we go.
Beaver's wall. EDG have to burn the Dragon down and look for the flip here. 2,000 HP. Xiaohao secures it! It was an early spike from Shun. I saw 400 HP. Xiaoshu is almost dropped, but On secures it with the killer instinct. They're going into the backline. Supreme display of talent at least finds one on a Palkia, but ZDC is still continuing the chase forward. Joel trying to take up all the damage. Xiaohao goes back in one last time before he gets dropped by Pays. Now he flashes forward. He's looking to turn on the heat. He's trying to gun him down. Pays looking for another dash with a relentless pursuit. It's Scout flashing forward to set up Pays for success. He dashes away from ZDC's grasp. He finds a triple, and it's Scout that cleans it up. JDG pull off the ace against EDG.
Competitive in this game, and one step closer to a soul, but JDG have shown that they're a little bit sloppy around some of these objectives. I don't know if I trust them here in this game number 2.
Palkia had swapped one of his summoner spells to Smite because JDG don't have Shun up on the field. Unfortunately for him, Xiaoshu is enough of a body blocker that he prevents Palkia from ever getting in range. It is JDG that secure the Baron here in game 2. Barely been able to breach the tier 2 on the bottom side of the map. Here comes another minion wave. They finally are able to undermine it here. His position in the tri-bush. Palkia looks for Xiaoshu. He's able to get away from the unraveled earth, but loses 50% of his HP. He will be forced to teleport back. They stop the
They
recall.
could look for a flank. He's gonna okay, so he's gonna go for it. Oh my god!
The recall again.
Punished. Scout, you gotta block these with either your body or the E. Dragon is getting pulled around. They have no wards on the top side of this map, and EDG converts this with a Kaisa.
Weaver's wall.
Oh my god, Angel!
Oh, Angel went too deep into the JDG's backline. 4,000 HP. Shao gonna get it, but it shoots, secures it, throws out the supreme display of talent. On gets caught, throws it into the backline with the killer instinct, but is popped by Scouts. Annie. Xiaoshu's gonna chase Xiao Hao, and the rest of EDG are forced to scramble.
Basic ability, the unbreakable, breaking the Talia wall and forcing him onto an opposite side of the fight. That is a massive win, and JDG, off of the jaws of defeat, find a victory here.
It was getting dangerously close. Palkia flashing forward, trying to be the Hail Mary for EDG so that they don't lose this second game, but Xiao Hao might just not be enough here in a 1v4. Angel has respawned. One more Nexus turret stands between JDG and evening up the series. Pays dashes forward, forces Angel to flash. Pays goes forward with his own flash. On trying to step up and be the Hail Mary necessary for EDG. CDC, are they holding the line? He goes golden. Just a couple more piercing lights and the auto attack from Pays as he dashes forward with a relentless pursuit. Angel's forced back into the fountain. They're getting dropped super low. Pays stop.
No, Pays!
Scout is too low on HP. They can't end the game.
We're not having this for the Dragon, but EDG can have no say over this top side objective. It's going to be the Baron Nashor going over to JD Gaming.
A little bit of craziness from JDG.
Let's take a vote now. Do we think we're going to see a 7th Dragon here in this game? Me personally, I don't think so, but if we do...
Key cooldowns from the side of EDG here.
Yeah, 75% crit chance, no Infinity Edge either, so really just trying to stay alive for the most part. Also, the magic resist that you get from these Merc Sims means that his opponents are going to do just a little bit less damage. It'll be the mid inhibitor falling, it'll be the bottom lane inhibitor falling as well. And this all sets up perfectly. JDG utilizing this Baron. Can they find the push here?
Scout flash forward, finds the Timbers, two-man stun on the front line. Scout is the first one to drop. Angel and On still trying to rip through this fight. CDC is traded. On using the killer instinct to try and reposition against JDG. They still have Baron and power minions on their side. Cannon still pounding away at the turrets.
Oh my god!
The knockup. Seismic shoving the Xiaoshu. They lose it on the top lane. Pays has got to be careful now. Weaver's wall right on top. Zhuo is separated from JDG. Doesn't look like they get pounced just yet. He throws out the unbreakable, but EDG in bot lane. One Nexus turret stands between EDG and JDG. Pays is full damage, no boots anymore. He needs the full arsenal to try and break EDG's defense. The last stand might just be now. Palkia goes in, Pays is able to dodge it with a relentless pursuit. Xiao Hao knocks up Shun, stalls him for now. Palkia losing all of his health. The Alistar is gone, and the rest of EDG are now down to 4. JDG still stand as 5, looking for that last Nexus turret. CDC pops the dominance, but JDG are going to be patient and wait out the ultimate to burn down. On is almost down to 50% HP.
Nice.
Angel will throw out the Weaver's wall, stall for time. On heals back up nearly to full. Big knockup onto ZDZ as he gets caught. Xiao goes in, looks for the backline, pops the crescent guard. ZDZ On trying to find the killer instinct. JDG throwing everything they can to block the damage from On's Kaisa as they pop Zhuo in the backline. Pays is under fire. He's forced back. On is flashing backwards as Xiaoshu finds ZDZ with the all out. But JDG, can they break them? Pays able to find Angel now, but the Nexus turret still stands, and there's still 3 members from EDG to hold the line.
Okay, the Nexus is about to respawn in 20 seconds!
Knock up from Xiaoshu! On
is that enough?
No way, Pays! It's just Pays and Scout! It's just Pays and Scout! Palkia's back! On! Can he
Nexus
be
is
the
about
hero?
to respawn!
Can Palkia find the knockup? It's on the 2, but he gets popped. Scout just needs one more stun. Pays! They lunge forward! Hit the
Wait, it's gonna
Nexus! JDG! Finally win game 2!
Top lane can be a bit difficult, but you can find all-ins with the Jax. Aurora can be very, very slippery and very dangerous, but versus Arise, lockdown is aplenty. JDG being a bit late here, and EDG immediately being first on the waves. This does open up at least a 2-grub start. They're going to pull it out since they know there's a ward here. You can see it's a little difficult as this misfortune early on to deal with what is... We didn't touch on a poke Varus here for On with the Halo Blades and Serrated Dirk being built up first.
Yeah. Keystone choice giving On just a little bit of all-in threat opening with those very rapid...
Now, my camps are going to respawn in about like 15 seconds, brother. Let's get a move on.
ZDZ forcing the opportunity, slicing Maelstrom right on top of Xiaoshu's head. And just like that, Shun had one window. He didn't want to wait around, and ZDZ is able to punish. Central dive. Scout still doesn't have his ultimate available. Pillar interrupts the recall. Scout knows that he's in trouble. Juo is trying to book it to the top side of the map to see if he can bail out his mid laner. Scout still has a flash to play with. Gets rooted by the Rune Prison. The stun from Palkia sets it up, and Xiaohao bites him down to bits.
And they can keep going for this. It's only Juo. You see that Shun is in the red buff right now. They can realm warp if they feel it.
Full proto belt. Meanwhile, Xiaoshu is still working on components for that Trinity Force, opted in for the Merc Tread just so that he doesn't die from another all-in from ZDZ. EDG doesn't look like they will be contested here. Shun is still trying to poke around, maybe with a ward over the wall, but doesn't have an opportunity to go back in with another W, and it is the first Dragon awarded to EDG.
And is building his way towards a Seraph, so I don't know what we're doing here from JDG's perspective. Okay, we're going
He's
for
diving
it.
Xiaohao under the tower. He's got Juo for the backup. The grand entrance should set up for the death mark to pop in, but the subjugate from Xiaohao gives him enough HP to survive the encounter from Shun. And now Angel, he's flashing over the wall. He's looking for Shun. He only gets the slow on the Juo, not the empowered Rune Prison. On was looking for the collapse, but he is pounced on by Pays, and he's forced to flash over the wall. Now Palkia, he has the Q flash available. Doesn't get in range. Pays forced to flash, but here comes ZDZ with the collapse. Slicing Maelstrom on a flashless AD carry is an easy formula for success. That's the fate of warfare secured for the EDG, and they're looking for more on the Scout, who has no flash. The W over the wall.
My God,
ZDZ is going to follow him over. Palkia extending the play with the crash down, and Scout's got nowhere else left to go. Xiaohao chomps him down to size. EDG now 4 kills to 0 for JDG.
ZDZ does have ultimate, but he has no flash. He's going to see that they are there, so trade of turret on both sides. EDG will grab that, and they'll also get themselves the Herald, which could turn this into a mid play, and that then ends up with the Dragon in 2 minutes. EDG are kind of outplaying their opponents, and JDG don't have very many options to respond with.
Yeah, it seems like JDG are just taking the worst trade end of the deal here in multiple scenarios here across the map. Chain of Corruptions tags Pays in the mid lane, goes for the chunk on, not able to completely destroy Pays' health bar, but he is now down to 50% HP. And the tier 1 turret is undermined by the Rift Herald, as now Xiaohao, can he get the drift? Here we go.
Oh, he's gonna get it. That's 1. That's 2. Yep, that's that turret going down.
Hey!
There we go. 2 turrets right before the Dragon. They're gonna need to recall.
Of the game. Rest of JDG don't really have great positioning or posture set up to contest them, so it just looks like it's going to be a guaranteed objective, as Shun is already booking it to the top side of the map.
They're going to give up this top side turret. Angel used his realm warp from the river into mid lane to catch this wave. Probably should have saved it, as now On's going to come back to this, and there's going to be turret going over to JDG. I feel like they've gotten the worst part of both trades here, Rafa.
The notice on Redemption Rush being so prevalent in support meta. Juo went for a Mikhail's Crucible first, so they won't have it available. Xiaohao forces the death mark out of Shun. Xiaoshu manages to find a great counter-strike. The Magnet Storm and the crashdown gives him the shield. He still survives, and Xiaoshu is punished. Juo can't even get the Ignite down on the Palkia, as it's not going to take him out. He survives. EDG win everything here on the top side as the Slicing Maelstrom now finds Scout. Still stuns him in the between worlds, but it looks like he is able to escape.
Relatively tanky enough. Is this Jax with just a Trinity Force and some boots? This is a tough ass coming in for JDG.
2 items on On's Varus, 2 items on Angel's Rise. Watch for these 2 to pop off in this fight. Shun is able to try and look for a little bit of poke onto Angel with the Living Shadow and the Shadow Slash. JDG don't necessarily force them off the Otacon yet. They're able to drag it down, 6,000 HP, almost 5k, 4k. It's getting closer to the point. Shun, does he want to tango forward?
Oh, no.
The Realm Warper is coming in. Oh, it's the flank from ZDZ, and Xiaohao secures the Otacon, and now they can look for the fight. Shun is split off from the rest of his carries. Rest of JDG try to fend for themselves on the right side. Bullet Time rips through the front line, but doesn't do any damage. Pays is forced to flash away. JDG completely collapsed at the Otacon pit, and EDG are there to write down their names on their tombstones.
Oh, let's go, Angel. Flash forward. Let's get a triple kill for him. Oh,
getting the movement speed. There it is. Spell flux. One more overload. Not in yet. Okay, Pays throws out the Angry Bee, is able to walk out this one alive.
Palkia the entire time, but Juo is sitting on a Mikhail's Crucible that gets absolutely nothing done.
EDG have like 3 carries, if not 4, considering how well Trundle can be able to just shrug off a lot of the, by far, the most convincing game we have seen out of this EDG squad, and it's about to put them here on match point.
The two roles that we were looking at coming into today, Angel versus Scout, and now where is On versus Pays. Pays, I think, limited in the options that he's had in this game as the Misfortune, but Scout, a complete
against IG. But this time around, with his advantage, he's been pressing forward, he's been threatening JDG in their back line, and using this advantage to give EDG the space necessary to continue pushing for these objectives. Now EDG have for themselves nearly a 8,000 to 9,000 gold advantage.
Clear Love told him, hey man, I need you to play Misfortune. Your team will get everything else done. Your team will set you up. That has been a huge problem.
He lied. Oh my god, the Realm Warp is collapsing onto Shun. The Room Prison ensures that Shun has nowhere else to go.
And now he spent the next 25 seconds moving into the top side. JDG need to make the impossible happen. Dwo is the only one that has the smite up and available, but can he get into this pit? I don't think so.
Palkia and Angel are going to do their due diligence to make sure that no funny business happens from Dwo's Rakan trying to steal the Baron away. Palkia unleashes the Magna Storm, and goodbye Dwo! And goodbye any chance for a smite. Hang on, Shun is back up from the grave. 2600 HP, Xiao Nihao needs to burn it down. Shun tries to flash into the wall. He doesn't even have flash kick. Close the distance there. Bullet time, completely irrelevant against Angel. Stasis with the Zhonya's Hourglass, and now Pays falls. Scout the only member left surviving on JDG, but he's trying to run for his life, and here comes Xiao Hao. Flash, chomp, good night, Scout. We're going to game 4. It's match point for EDG.
Palkia gives the one only kill that JDG might find in this game. 13,000 gold is the gold difference. It is only ZDZ and Xiao Hao. On's gonna finally make his way over to this wave, but good job from Dwo. He's pulling this minion wave, maybe stalling, out and they got it in him. Like you said, it is EDG finding an advantage yet again. Rafa, it's happening.
It's happening.
Group Nirvana is finding a best-of-5 series win. They are one game away.
If you're a JDG fan, I think you're a big fan of this composition, as long as JDG do not give over massive advantages to EDG, because their composition is trying to steamroll you in the first 15 minutes of the game. What is happening?
Okay. I don't know what's happening anymore, Rafa. This game is getting wild. This game is getting a little crazy, and honestly, it's getting a little messy here. Angel has dropped the waves. We're going to continue.
Electrocute! That forces the flash out of Shun's Wukong. Scout catches Angels here on the left side, but Palkia's trying to look for the collapse. Flash from Scout. They find first blood. Pays is able to pick one up, a 2 onto EDG's bot laner. It's just pandemonium and absolute chaos. Pays completes the feat of warfare for JDG here in game 4. And Xiao Hao is on the run. Shun is still alive. JDG able to push EDG to the brink and find success in the first 4 minutes.
And Caitlyn team, a bunch of grubs, but I don't know if you have an option to with how powerful some of these ultimates from JDG are.
Dwo finds the tether onto Palkia, roots him down. Trap combo laid in for Pays, and Palkia is forced to use the repel, but he's got no enemy minions to repel to on his side of the map, so Palkia surely will go down unless Xiao Hao can bail him out here. Shun needs to close the distance. A hero's entrance is forced out of Scout to join the fray. On is threatened and is sacrificed for EDG's sins, as they are not able to find any trade back.
Entrance is not available for Scout, but he should be able to muscle his way through mid. He's only walking now, but they're late.
On, not able to flash away from the call. The Forge God finally flashes away from the Justice Punch, is still alive for now. Angel gives vision of all members of JDG, but Scout is buying space with the taunt. Xiaoshu trying to flash after On, but he's got him trapped into the wall of that Raptor pit. Xiao Hao trying to send it on to Scout, looks for a trade back and saves his mid laner from certain death. EDG able to get at least one in
JDG composition, and On cannot be there in this fight, loses his flash, and then still ends up dying. He's going to be getting closer to level 6 here, and maybe there's some time here for ZDZ to push in away, but with Caitlyn and Karma coming.
Both sides of Summoner's Rift.
Xiaoshu even gets a Kanik Rooker. That's massive here. And with 3 grubs, Caitlyn Karma is ripping this apart.
They're just looking for Palkia, trying to bully out the rookie, and EDG are trying to flee the scene of the crime, but On is caught in the crossfire, and JDG continue to extend their lead on the top side of the map.
Just take the first turret. Let's call it a day. Let's get ourselves feats of strength here. JDG are now snowballing competitively. pounding these advantages here. They're gonna...
The ideals of Pays in the first 14 minutes of this game. They gave him a lot of turret plate gold, but was just a few hundred gold. Now nearly above 1,000 just for Pays' Caitlyn. Xiaoshu in trouble. Angel popping the Destiny just to make sure that he can join the fray. That's a guaranteed kill and I believe, a shutdown going over to Xiaohao's pockets here on the Nefiri.
Xiaoshu can respond with a teleport, and depending on how these lane assignments look for EDG once they take their recalls and spend some gold, are we going to get a contest on the Herald that spawns in 10? Because there are some buttons that are going to be coming up for JDG in a moment here with Heroic Entrance and the ace in the hole for JDG.
Snowballing the game in favor of JDG on this Rift Herald, so they are just gifting over the objective for now and praying that they can have the macro decisiveness later on to contest JDG.
We'll have the Herald to be able to play with for the Dragon that spawns in the 4. Otacon obviously spawns in that same amount of time, so maybe a play there.
EDG trying to take out the vision control from EDG's river entrance here on the blue side quadrant. Flash from Palkia looking for Scout, but that's a Galio. That's not the target that you want to see. Curtain call from on downtown. Finds some decent damage on the Scout, but not enough to make a good trade. Palkia is dropped, and now the Call of the Forge God forces ZDZ's Flash out. EDG now down summoner spells on multiple carries.
Herald is going to be spawned. Heroic Entrance is still ready for Scout to call. Mid turret is going to fall, even with a not. They don't even need the Demolish proc at this point. EDG are getting bullied around the map. Palkia tries to find something, but Galio is way too tanky.
This Pays feels so bold that he can just eat over the wall into Fog and just tango with EDG support. Equalizer is going to cut off their retreat here. Pays has Flash and Cleanse available. Good shield from Zhuo's Karma. Heroic Entrance will stall for time on this fight. Xiaoshu now looking for the re-engage of the Call of the Forge God. Angel's on the left flank trying to see if he can look into the backline, but Pays blows up ZDZ before Angel can get into the skirmish. A massive knockup from Xiaoshu forces Xiaohao to flash away to safety.
Leo has ult in 4, so he can show on this mid wave. It is getting lower and lower, and look at the trap line. It's impossible for Xiaohao to move on forward. Angel's getting interrupted.
Yeah, he got interrupted on the Destiny, was unable to port away from Scout, who now has him locked down. ZDZ now trying to collapse onto Xiaoshu, who is looking for On onto the top side play. Scout is preventing Angel from being able to join up his team, and On is isolated from the rest of EDG, and now Scout has the opportunity to collapse in first before Angel. He's calling for his team to just drop as little sacrifices as possible. He's going for the mid-tier 1, but Xiaohao can now duel Scout. I don't know if he'll have enough chance or enough time to at least get a kill trade back, but Scout does his job, prevents EDG from contesting JDG on the Otacon, and at the very least EDG get a turret for themselves, but that's the big objective in the hands of JDG.
Here, I think Xiaohao should be able to handle him, especially with the smite that he has access to. No teleports anywhere else from across the map. Scout is mostly just being a nuisance here, and we'll be able to pick up this bottom lane wave. JDG are starting to mount a beauty from a potential soul that it is unrealistic to believe that they have much say in this game.
Yeah, at this point, EDG's bot lane has been completely out of the game for quite some time and are building pure damage because that's the only thing that will allow them to still be a threat. ZDZ push for the top tier 1, knows that his life is forfeit, at least guarantees EDG gets some global gold back.
In the wings waiting right below them.
Shun and Pays have remained deathless so far, and that's why they have the big objective bounties on their heads right now. Zhuo also deathless. EDG to find a layering of single target CC.
This could be a pick.
Xiaoshu forced to flash away. Flash gold card from Angel. Good buffer by the Bellows Breath, but I don't think it matters. Xiaoshu is still locked down and not close enough to the rest of his team. The Call of the Forge God interrupted as JDG sends Scout to try and bail out his top laner, but the rest of EDG are piling on in. They're committing. That's the equalizer. It cuts off Pays, but the rest of the team, he's isolated. If EDG find Pays here, it could be big. Scout gets dropped. Xiaohao sends it, is able to use the Eviscerate to get back over the wall to safety. EDG, for the first time this game, have a numbers advantage on the map.
One more minion wave.
Scout looking for the collapse. Call of the Forge God is called by Xiaoshu, finds knock-up onto On, but no one from JDG can get in range to collapse. They get, even though they had such a strong early game advantage, you can see remnants of what happened in game 2, how strong EDG were able to hold the line and raise their defenses against JDG, and really making them sweat to try and close out that game.
They control through mid. Angel's in a weird spot right now. He does have flash. There's a teleport behind.
They're looking for On, maybe. Call of the Force God goes wide. Angel gives them vision with Destiny. Xiaohao able to distance himself away with the E. On stuns of Scout in the front line. Now he's looking to turn around with the curtain call. Equalizer over the top. Pays is forced to E backwards. That's a lot of damage. Redemption Angel's flanking onto the back line, at least threatening. Scout tries to step forward, gets caught by the deadly flourish. EDG are playing with range and trying to bait out cooldowns from the side of JDG, but the patience might be rewarded here. Xiaoshu taking up a lot of damage. Palkia goes in, forced to repel away. Shun already burned the Cyclone, but doesn't find a knockup onto anyone. Big knockup there onto Angel. He's forced to flash away. Taunt from Scout. Gets the cleanse out of Angel. The rest of EDG crowding around onto the bottom side of the map. There's a lot of fighting from EDG, but they're holding the line. And JDG can't find a window to get the advantage that they want in this game. CDZ now finally isolated and Pays. Blinks him back to the fountain with the power of that Infinity Edge he just purchased. Angel still holding the line with the side of EDG, but there's no Dragon to play for on the bottom side. They're just trying to use range. Palkia gets popped by Shun. On, isolated now. There's no way out for him. Shun should be able to have one more gap closer left in the tank. It's the ace in the hole that damages On's health bar. Shun just needs one more Nimbus strike to send On back to the fountain. JDG prevail and win the fight.
Can Xiaohao live long enough? Oh, he's just dead. That's another auto attack. That's Pays moving forward, and that's Pays finding the jungler of EDG. It won't be enough for them to end the game, but
they still have a Mikhails from Jewel, so now JDG can coordinate and ensure that Pays is kept alive in the next fight.
So tough to kind of squeeze out when they have all of these actives, and Redemption especially is such a disgusting support item right now. Being able to revitalize your team. He got blocked by a Void Might there. Uses Proto Belt, try to look for something. This might be the last bit that we see from EDG here in this game number 4. Palkia gets chunked out. Pays is fearless on this Caitlyn. The range at which he can interact with his opponents, unmatched, unrivaled. And now JDG completely assaulting the base.
That rapid fire cannon empowered headshot just takes out nearly a third, almost a half of ZDZ's health bar. And the rest of JDG holds Pays, gets caught there by Cocoon, but he's able to dash back away to the Redemption there. Keeps his health bar topped off. Xiaohao forced to chunk out members of EDG. On is forced to go back to the base.
On is dead. On is just gonna die to an
No, they don't send the call of the Forge God on top of the curtain call. They just don't care. They just do not care that On can put out any damage. Heroic entrance gives the space necessary for Pays to thrive. Nexus towers die, and EDG don't have any more health left in the tank here. JDG pull through. We're going to game 5. It was strong early game advantages that allowed them to snowball, especially in game 4 specifically. They have a strong front line they can rally behind if they can get to that point.
Ward here from Xiaoshu.
Xiaohao and ZDZ, can they link up and find the first kill of the game to break open this game 5? Xiaohao flashes after Xiaoshu's own flash, pushes him into ZDZ's waiting arms. He's still level 2. He finds the Darkened Blade into flash, and it's first blood for ZDZ here in game 5.
Under the turret with level 6 already achieved there by Scout. Great job from JDG's laners for utilizing some of this draft.
Holy. I mean, Palkia is playing Maokai, has the Bramble Smash, but he would have to coordinate with Xiaohao to get the Smite in combo tandem. They're looking for it, but Shun is clutch with it. Palkia, flash twisted advance, trying to lock down Shun, forcing the flash out of the Skarner. The rest of Xiaohao trying to look for Zhuo as he is forced to flash away.
And this year was contesting top 1 junglers in split 2.
Yep.
That should be at least 2 grubs going over to JDG.
On and Palkia trying to contest the topside river, but Shun is there, so they have to be careful about trying to challenge further. Shun does have the Impale ready, but he just goes for 1 grub trade guaranteed with the Smite. And now just waiting for EDG's hand to show. Scout determining whether he wants to press forward on the river here. Shun has the boulder available.
Let Palkia hit these because he gets ultimate here if he's able to get at least
Smite is used. Oh, they're looking for Scout, but he doesn't find the wall slam. It doesn't connect. Scout is able to now distance himself away. Throws out the Arcane Storm, and JDG guaranteed the second grub for themselves. Charm lands on the Shun. He still doesn't have flash. Wait a minute. The Impale stalls for time on the Palkia, but that's a Maokai. That's not the target you want to hit. Shun is able to get the Ishtal impact and escapes back to safety. Jewel is caught on the left side. A meaningful sacrifice for JDG, as at least none of their meaningful carries go down. On's first kill arrives here in game 5, as ZDZ has arrived to the top side of the map with Xiaoshu. Death Realm still available, so is World Ender from EDG.
Calling, man. Okay, well, we've given the second dragon over to the team that has a Senna. A bit worrisome here, and EDG can always pull the trigger because they have this Maokai ultimate.
Ideally, it should be on the Xiao House so that they can have a window to try and secure that Herald for themselves. But JDG, they're not contesting the river for now. They're letting Pays pick up the wave in the mid lane instead, and EDG are trying to secretly burn down the Herald.
They can't do this anymore. We're seeing it now. Pays is going to finish his recall here. This is just JDG posturing just to be on vision, see if they can force their opponents to make a mistake. But they got that mid wave in.
To defend the turret from dropping.
Ooh, Victor gets this wave. Can observers show this real quick? I know we're showing the Herald on top side, but I think it's rather important that Scout got a free time on this bottom lane wave, and he got himself another wave, so turret gold going over to Victor, not bad. It was a single Herald charge, not even fully used there by EDG. I don't think they're going to be able to get much more off of this, and Scout's going to go for even more.
To help Xiao House secure the objective. Pays takes some damage from On, as well as the rest of the members of EDG. Shun on top of the Otacon, but neither team has started up the objective. They're just looking to poke EDG off the objective for now.
Xiaohao right now, he's starting up the Gromp. It's going to be Angel looking for a recall. Does he have a second item here?
On! You gotta be careful. The flash from Pays looks for his moment as he pops the ultimate, forces On out of the pit. Xiaohao, flash, Keeper's Verdict, punch Scout out of the table here. ZDZ trying to persist through as he's forced into the death realm against Xiaoshu, and Xiaoshu wins the 1v1. The claw finds Palkia. Scout's laser burns them to a crisp. They're pushing forward, and Pays will ring the rally cry for JDG to push through in this game 5.
Scout teleported right back into that play, and Pays is firing away at EDG. They started off so well by finding Shun. It will be no Otacon here for JDG, but it will be a turret and a team fight win that gets so many summoner spells out from their opponents.
The feats of strength, they get access to the tier 2 boots as well as the tier 3 boots. Not sure if that's going to make the biggest difference here, but it's a small advantage that EDG can at least put in the pockets for themselves. Otacon leashed up, 7K, 6K, On steps up. Remember, there's no flash on the Senna. You gotta be careful. The Death Realm sends On with him. Can Xiaohao get into the pit? Otacon at 3K HP, trying to rally behind On as he comes out of the Death Realm, still alive, but Shun looms forward and puts it into On's life. The Impale will find Palkia, and the rest of JDG can now lunge and fly on forward.
Oh no!
Gets slammed into the wall, but he's still surviving for now. ZDZ pops the world under. Can he bring EDG back from the brink? He's finding the Darkened Blades. Shun has to back off, but ZDZ doesn't find the last Darkened Blade mark, and Scout is the last hope for this team, and he will come in clutch to keep JDG alive in the Otacon pit.
Gonna go down in favor of JDG.
6K, Palkia and Xiaohao arrive back to the pit. Keeper's Verdict punts out Shun. Can EDG try and burn down the Otacon before Shun gets back? It's Palkia with the ultimate, but the Otacon resets. JDG now have more time. Xiaoshu looking for the Death Realm target. Impale does fine. I believe that's ZDZ going down. JDG eliminate the Aatrox from the fight. And EDG, they are now down to 4. I don't know if their chances look great here. JDG still have all 5, and Pays is holding the line boldly and confidently with Cleanse and Flash available. Xiaohao lunges forward, looking for 12. Pays pops the ultimate, burns down Xiaohao. The Death Realm keeps him in rage, and Xiaoshu puts an end to Xiaohao. The Otacon is finally secured for JDG, and that could just be the hopes of this world dream for EDG coming to a bittersweet end.
Too many times that they've been caught. Maybe they go for the Baron. Dragon's gonna go over and put them on Soul Point. EDG, they've lost the plot in this game. There's no ability for them to, I mean, look at the start of this fight.
Throwing everything into the wall, trying to find a miracle out of a disastrous scenario. Shun just impaling out of the teleport. Angel is already forced to flash. ZDZ trying to look for Scout into the backline, but this Victor is so strong. ZDZ pops the World Ender, but he's in the Death Realm. It's just him and Xiaoshu fighting to the bitter end. ZDZ is not winning the 1v1. He's forced to flash away. Palkia completely deleted. JDG continuing the fight on here. EDG dropped to 4 members. JDG have already picked up the 3rd dragon for themselves here. There's nothing more that they need to fight for.
Whether or not we were going to get the Scout, that costed them the games versus Billy and Knight. Baron is at 9,000 right now. Xiaohao is charging it up. Shoot is out of the
looks
pit.
for the charm and the spirit rush, but Scout answers with his stasis on the Seekers. ZDZ pops the world ender. He's in the death realm with Xiaoshu once again. Xiaohao trying to position and coordinate with his top laner, but EDG! They lose Angel! They lose Palkia! On is next on the finish line. Scout destroys him with the power of the arcane! JDG continuing to find one member after another on the ranks of EDG! And that's it, Alk! JDG, find the ace. They don't need the Baron. They're gonna push into the base. How far can they go?
Oh, it looks like they might be able to end. They've got a massive minion wave. They've got 2 grubs and 5 members. JDG have done it. It is game 5.
You can see the facial reactions on EDG. They know their fate is in the writing. It's about to come to an end. You can write JDG off. You can cast them aside, but the discarded kings will not be denied! JDG, keep their hopes alive!
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.